You ever come home after a long, dusty day, step out on your porch, and spot something taped to your gate? Not a welcome note. Not even a lost dog flyer. No, this was a full-size eviction notice, slapped on with duct tape like it belonged in a courthouse, not my ranch. That was my Tuesday. Big red letters. Final notice, immediate eviction. From my own land. The land my grandfather left me. The land I've paid taxes on since I was 19. The land where my daughter took her first ride under the old oak tree. At first, I thought it was a joke. A bad one. But it wasn't. It was from the HOA. And not just any HOA, this was Denise's doing. She's the new president. Moved in 6 months ago and somehow decided my ranch didn't align with community standards. Because I've got actual grass instead of artificial turf. Horses instead of hedge sculptures. My porch has character, not beige paint. I stood there, wind kicking dirt over my boots, holding that paper like it was dipped in pure audacity. All I could think was, are they actually serious? Turns out, they were. But what Denise didn't know was this cowboy owns a lot more than just the house on the hill. See, I also own the land the HOA uses for their fancy little clubhouse. And the parking lot? Yeah, that's mine too. So, while they were busy dreaming up rules about curtain colors and truck limits, I was preparing to remind them what happens when you push the wrong man off his own land. I've lived here 25 years, 14 acres of rolling pasture, 3 stables, and a spring-fed pond that's never run dry. My house is tucked way back, you'd miss it if you blinked. That's how I like it. Quiet. Out of the way. But over the years, the open range shrank. Developments moved in. Cookie-cutter homes and a rulebook thicker than the Bible. And I never had a problem until they decided I was the problem. First contact? Not a conversation. Not even a knock. A letter shoved into my gate. Complaining that my barn, get this, was a visual nuisance. That's when I knew someone new was in charge. Denise. Clipboard queen. Always in yoga pants. Always with that little dog that barks like it owns stock in the neighborhood. Next, came the onslaught. Too many trucks on my driveway. Horses making noise. Fence not regulation height. Never mind the fact that I'm not even in the HOA. My land was always separate, privately owned, zoned differently, and never once under their jurisdiction. But Denise didn't care. Her vision of neighborhood harmony didn't include a working ranch. I tried being civil. Invited her over for lemonade. She ghosted me. Instead, she sent code enforcement. I got 3 citations in 1 week. Then, came the eviction notice. And that's when I decided I'd had enough. They started measuring my fences. Taking photos. Flagged my mailbox for being non-standard. That mailbox? Hand-carved oak. Built with my father. Older than the entire HOA. They fined me $1,200 for unauthorized landscaping. Apparently, wildflowers don't meet their native plant policy. I ignored it. Then my trash stopped getting picked up. Turns out the HOA controlled the contracted service and they removed me from the schedule. And then they crossed the line. I came home one day to find a HOA community development banner zip-tied to my gate. Photoshopped image of my barn replaced with a model home. That was it. I called my lawyer. Turns out, they tried filing paperwork claiming my land had been absorbed into the HOA boundaries thanks to some redistricting error. They were trying to steal my land using a technicality. But they forgot one important thing. The clubhouse? The one where they hold all their little meetings? It's on my land. I leased it to the original developer for $1 a year, as a neighborly favor. And the parking lot? Still mine. Commercially zoned. Lease clause said if land use changes, I could revise terms. So I did. I sent a certified letter. Addressed to Denise. Lease revision. Effective immediately. Rent, $6,500 per month. Parking, $15 per vehicle per day, including volunteer vans. They laughed. Until I put up new signs. Private property. Parking by permit only. Pay at kiosk. Then, I hired a security firm. Boots. Tickets. The whole 9 yards. That same week, I delivered another letter. Lease termination. 30 days notice. Panic spread fast. Denise called me, I let it go to voicemail. Other board members showed up. Karen, Cheryl, 2 others. One offered cookies. Another offered to negotiate. I said sure on 3 conditions. 1. Revoke every false complaint. 2. Public written apology. 3. Denise steps down. They said no. So I blocked off the overflow parking. Dropped hay bales. Put 2 alpacas and lawn chairs under the security lights just for ambience. Their next meeting had no place to park. Security wrote 19 citations. Neighbors started stopping by to thank me. Cookies, pies, handshakes. Turns out, Denise had made more enemies than just me. She threatened to sue. My attorney had already filed for harassment, defamation, and interference with private property. I stayed cool. Waited for the final blow. Their big summer gala came around. Theme, together in order. Too bad the clubhouse was locked. I changed the locks at midnight. Posted a legal termination notice on the door. Denise showed up in heels and pearls, red-faced and furious. "This is sabotage," she screamed. "No," I said, handing her the lease letter. "This is called property rights." Guests stood confused. Cones blocked the lot. The alpacas stood guard. Then Sheriff Dugan pulled up, my dad's old friend. He nodded. "Everything okay here?" Denise tried her lawyer talk. Dugan pulled out his copy of the lease. "Ma'am," he said, "this man owns the land. Including this building. Including the parking." She went pale. Then red. Then quiet. Someone in the crowd called out, "So, who's evicted now?" I just tipped my hat and walked inside. The screen door slammed shut behind me. I watched through the window as the mighty HOA stumbled. Red tape tangled around their own feet. Eventually, Denise resigned. The HOA dropped all claims. They pay rent on time now every single month. They even updated the clubhouse sign. Community hall, courtesy of the ranch. The alpacas? Still there. One's named Denise. I never wanted war. I wanted peace. But sometimes, peace needs a lease agreement and a couple of parking cones. If you're fighting an overreaching HOA, know your rights. Know your land. And always read the fine print. So, what would you have done in my boots? Leave a comment with justice served if you made it to the end. And let me know how you would have handled things differently. And remember, not every fence needs mending. Some just need respecting.